Hello, everybody. Welcome to CricTracker. Welcome to In the Air. My name is Nivedna Prabhu. On today's, a session, of course, we're going to be joined in by Rakesh once again, who is our in-house cricket expert, and of course, even otherwise, he's a cricket coach as well. Rakesh, thank you so much for taking the time out and coming once again to give us your predictions. And of course, going into the second ODI, a lot to discuss. But for starters, what are you expecting from this match?
It's a sad news for both the teams because both of their prime players, Rohit Sharma, Shreyas Iyer for India, Owen Morgan, and the other batsman for England. So we are going to miss four players who have played in the first ODI, and it's going to be a little bit interesting to see who are the players going to come for, who are the players going to be replaced by the players who are going to be rested in the second ODI. I think Surya Kumar Yadav will definitely make his debut in ODI cricket, and let's see whether Rishabh Pant will get a place or whether Shubman Gill will get a place. So that is going to be something interesting in terms of India's camp. And whereas on England side, Owen Morgan is out of this completely out of this ODI series, and then even Sam Billings will be at least out for particular this second T20 second ODI. Josh Butler is going to be the captain. So let's see who are the players going to be replaced by those players. It's interesting to see how India is going to go with the new players or replace who are going to come in, whether Kuldeep will be there in the team or no, because Kuldeep didn't had a good ODI in the first game. He was very expensive, but let's see whether India will back him up or whether they'll go with Chahal. So it's an interesting ODI, and also India would love to win this game and just win the series before they go to the third ODI.
Right. So whoever is tuned in right now, of course, bad news because let's take a look at the list of injured players. This is not great going in for both the teams because these are, of course, their star players. Now, we definitely saw Morgan get hurt in the first ODI. Even Iyer, of course, people didn't anticipate the level of that injury, but now that the first bad news, of course, is missing the ODI. The bigger picture, of course, for Iyer is the fact that he's going to be missing the entire season of the IPL. So that's horrible news coming in for the for the youngster. And again, in terms of for the England side, we're seeing Sam Billings, who's also going to be missing out. However, on the other side, like Rakesh just mentioned, it will be interesting to see who India is going to be picking. A lot of you in the first ODI wanted your favorite Sky, Surya Kumar Yadav, so we'll have to wait and watch if he's going to be playing. On the other hand, Liam Livingstone is going to be, part of the ODI. What do you, see for him this time around?
I think he has performed very well in the England domestic county cricket, and he's one of the promising batsmen in the recent past years. If you look at domestic cricket career, I mean, if you look at his county career, I think he has been waiting to get a chance, and he wants to prove himself because every country is having a lot of youngsters on the bench, and everybody will be looking forward to get a chance and prove themselves, say that they are at that level where they can be a team player who can play for the team, who can give their best for the team's results. So in that process, I think
Right.
Livingstone will be excited to make his debut, but not on the cause of players getting injured. That might be a little bit disappointing thing for him. But anyways, he's going to make his debut, so he'll be happy. Even the England team will be looking forward to check these type of players going forward for the World Cup, because even all the teams in the world, they want to get with a proper playing 11 or proper squad where they don't feel that they have picked the wrong player who is not really ready to play the T20 World Cup or something like that. But in terms of in Livingstone's case, I think his domestic county cricket proves that he can be one of the best players for England going forward with their cricket teams.
Right, like Rakesh just stated. Of course, everybody wants that opportunity to play for their country, but not at the cost of your teammate becoming injured. But it is what it is, right? You've got to make it's all about timing as well. And one good thing is that, of course, like there's been a lot of talk about how many good cricketers are there in the moment for Team India. Like there's so many options, right, Rakesh? So how do you
Yes,
view that? As a cricket analyst as
I
well.
was just watching. Yeah, I was just reading an article about the players who have debuted in the recent past from last one and a half year, not just with Indian cricket, even with the other cricketing nations. for now, let's just stick to Indian cricket. If you see 10 or 12 players who have debuted and performed really well, exceptionally well in all three formats of the game, take it Siraj, Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav, Natarajan, Sundar, Shardul. Shardul made his test debut way back in 2018 or 19, but unfortunately he had to miss after an injury, and then it was almost like a debut game again for him in Australia. So all these players who have played their first game impressed everybody. Now this has become a headache for India to select players, because if you drop or if you leave one player, but he can't be dropped because of the performance he has. So India has a very good bench strength. I think they are still looking for the proper. I mean, if you see openers, we have a lot of slots. Devdutt Padikkal, Prithvi Shaw, who has failed disastrously in Australia, has performed again in Vijay Hazare Trophy. And we have Mohammad Azharuddin, who has been picked by RCB. So there are a lot of players who are really performing very well in domestic cricket. So we have a big pool of players, not just in terms of fast bowling, not just in terms of batting. Everybody, there are a lot of players, but it's just that you have to fit in that particular position. Let's say Surya Kumar Yadav, he plays in the top order for Mumbai when he's playing Ranji Trophy game. But right now, he has to be ready to play at any spot when you come at the international level. So that really
Right.
matters, and the players are also molding themselves in that way, where they can really come up and bat whatever the order the team wants them to play. And if you take the bowlers, they are really getting better with their skills. I mean, sometimes you will have to bowl with a new ball when you're playing for your state team, but when it comes to Indian team, you might have to bowl with an old ball. It might be vice versa. Sometimes you may bowl with a old ball and then you have to bowl with a new ball. So players are getting trained in that way, not just technically or physically, even mentally. Players, we can see the players being so strong mentally, which is one of the most important aspect, not just in cricket. In every game, I generally, whenever I do coaching for the kids or even for the state players, I do the same thing. You have to be really strong mentally, with physically and technically. So I see all the players in the Indian cricket looks very strong mentally as well. Just because I think maybe because of the opportunity they are getting to play with the international cricketers in IPL, or even if you see Karnataka Premier League, Tamil Nadu Premier League. So every state is trying to build their own franchisee league, where every player gets an opportunity, gets an exposure, and they have that opportunity to rub the shoulders with the international cricketers. So it's a very good sign to see where we are getting players from every corner of the country, and not just getting the players, but also their performance is speaking about themselves, not just their name or anything.
Right. So I think that's a very interesting point Rakesh has made, because Clive Lloyd, the ex West Indian skipper, just commented yesterday about how the Indian team is the best Indian team he's ever seen. So that says a lot. He said they're far more professional. They look much fitter. They've been on a winning spree since the Australia series, of course. They're looking in great form. And you just, basically happen to say, the same thing as well. And the toss update is that England have won the toss and have opted to field. So we'll have to wait and watch how that's going to work out for them. So Rakesh, the toss update: England have won, chosen to field. Good move.
I think even they did the same thing in the first ODI as well,
First
I
one.
guess. But I don't think that's a bad move, because that track itself says that. I mean, we have the records in front of us. 5 games have been played there. Two have been won while chasing, and yes, two have been won while chasing, and rest of the three have been won by batting first. So that's not a big difference, I would say. So both the teams will have equal opportunity. It's all about uh, how that particular team, whoever is playing very well, are going to win. So it's a slight margin, and even I think this game will be going to be much more interesting than the first game, because
First one.
even the first game was going very interesting. It was evenly poised to some extent, not just some extent, even till I would say 25th over of the second innings. From there, the moment when England middle order collapsed, that's where the things have turned towards India. But otherwise, it was evenly poised. So I think I'm hoping we'll be expecting a much better game than the first game, and
First one.
India would love to score and keep a big total on the board. So I don't think that's a wrong decision about England choosing to field first. I think Josh Butler is the captain in today's game for England.
I was actually going to come to that next. There's so much talk about Kohli and Rohit's captaincy all the time. So now let's talk about Butler and Morgan's captaincy. A little change for a while this time around. Let's talk about the England team. What are you expecting in terms of Butler's captaincy? You think, good thing over there?
I won't say it's a surprise. When Morgan was the captain, Josh Butler has been made the captain for this particular one second and third ODI. But if you see the keepers will be standing behind the stumps, and keepers are the ones
Yeah.
who can actually monitor and who can actually see what is exactly happening all around the ground. So what I feel is every team will have a default vice captain of the team. That is wicketkeeper. So he must be having a great knowledge how to handle the situation of the game, being a keeper and having that good high quality international experience, playing with many multiple players at the IPL level or even at the Big Bash League. So I think Josh Butler should do very good with his tactical things going forward as a captain in this game.
Right. And a lot of, people are giving you shout outs. Rakesh, we have Anitek who's saying hello. We have Mirzamir who's saying hello. Sandeep is asking you how you're doing. They all want to know your predictions for today. They want to ask you who do you think is, the stronger team. They all are asking you to make your predictions. So come on, tell us. What do you think is going to be happening?
It's not about being strongest team or anything, but with the past experience, let's say about the first ODI, with the first ODI's experience, India have gained a lot of confidence where they were in a situation where they were going to lose the game and coming back. The debutants doing very good, the seniors getting into act and performing well, like Shikhar Dhawan, KL Rahul, both of them performed the senior players, I would say, and then the debutant Prasidh Krishna and Krunal Pandya. So the Indian team looks pretty confident compared to the England team, but we can't take England team very light because this has been one of the best teams in white ball cricket in the current scenario. If you look at the
Right.
England team, which has won the World Cup, and then later they have played very well, but I mean, the thing is, uh, it's just that England is not getting that rhythm back of winning the games because England won the two Test matches in Sri Lanka before they came to India, and those two Test matches England won very convincingly. But after that, even they continued that winning streak, won the first Test in Chennai, and then started losing the games. And once the
Right.
T20I series started, they started off really well, but for some reason they are not able to continue that momentum where the graph is not going upwards, but the graph is coming down and up and down. So England must be looking forward to win this game, at least to win this ODI series, so that they can go back to England with a positive thing, leaving from India. So England will be looking forward to win this game, but to give the answer to your question, I think India are going to be favorites in today's game.
Okay, so all of you out there who are asking questions to Rakesh, you definitely know who is his pick. But as he's always said, even in the first ODI, that both the teams look really strong, and that's what this competition is all about. You never know until the last minute what's going to happen. But if you have any other questions, comment section mein bataiye. Ask, Rakesh, if any other predictions you have. Quick update here, which everybody was waiting for. So Rishabh Pant is in for Shreyas Iyer. Is that something that you expected, Rakesh?
Yeah, I think we were expecting Surya and Rishabh Pant or Shubman Gill, but I was more in favor of Rishabh Pant because looking at his form, the way he's performing, the way he has taken up the challenges, counter-attacking the bowlers according to the situation of the game, improving his mindset, improving his physical thing. Even Coach Ravi Shastri has said he has really worked hard to improve his fitness. Along with that, because of the competition, because of the hype he had, I think he has improved 100% mentally, physically, and technically as well. So I'm not
Right.
surprised by seeing Rishabh Pant back in the team.
And for England, the kind of changes, of course, we're seeing is Morgan is out, Billings is out, Wood is also out, David Malan, Topley, and Livingstone are in for England. So these are the changes. How do you look at those changes now for the England team? Were you expecting that? I mean, we were expecting Morgan and
Yes,
Billings out.
I was expecting David Malan to also get into the team because I mean, if you look at the squad, he's not there in the squad. He's just traveling with the team. not only David Malan, even Chris Jordan is also same way. They both and one more player. They are just traveling with the squad team, but they are
Right.
not in the squad. But
Yeah.
both the batsmen, Sam Billings and Owen Morgan, getting injured, so they definitely have to bring one batsman in. I think that is the reason David Malan has been brought back into the team. I think those were the changes which we are expecting because of the injuries of the players for the England team.
Rakesh, you have a very interesting question coming your way. Rohit or Dhawan or Kohli, who will get 100 today? What is your prediction?
Rohit, Dhawan, Kohli. Kohli is due of scoring 100 because he hasn't scored a century since last 1.5 years. So he will be definitely looking to score a century with the records he has in that particular ground. And with the form Shikhar Dhawan is in, it's a little bit difficult question. But I'm going with Shikhar Dhawan to score a century today.
Right. So there you have it. Your answer, Meet. You were asking Rakesh about it, and that's, you've of course got it right there. So, of course, like we just spoke, these are the changes. Now we are aware with the fact that the ones who are injured, Shreyas Iyer, Morgan, as well as Billings, will not be playing. And for the ones who have just tuned in, hello, welcome. If you have any questions, write that in the comment section below, and we will definitely try our best to answer everything. There's a lot of questions about Rohit's form. He was also injured. Anuj is saying hello Anuj from the both of us, and his question is obviously about Rohit Sharma's form. Do you think everything's going to be looking great for him today?
Yeah. Rohit Sharma is absolutely fine. There's no question about his form. Look at the previous games or look at the fifth T20 he has played. I don't
Yeah.
think there is any question or there shouldn't be any concern about Rohit's form, but it's just that I'm a little bit concerned because of the injury in the last game. Why is
Right.
India still going ahead with Rohit? Because you can give rest for Rohit because he being a senior player and one of the senior pros who almost will relies and gives you the best opening stand with whoever he is playing. So I think India should have given rest and given some other guy a chance so that his injury won't get bigger and it won't get from bad to worse. Other than
Yeah.
that, I don't think there will be any big concern to worry about Rohit's form.
Right. So he's going to be, in action today, because now let's take a look at the playing 11 for both the teams, for India as well as England. For India, we of course have Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, who is of course in place of Shreyas Iyer. We have Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya, Shardul Thakur, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Kuldeep Yadav, and Prasidh Krishna. And for England, we have Jason Roy, Johnny Verstow, we have Ben Stokes, David Milan, George Butler, who's of course going to be captaining for. He's going to be the captain instead of Morgan. Sorry about that. Liam Livingstone, Moeen Ali, Sam Curran, Tom Curran, Adil Rashid, and of course Topley. So these are the playing 11 for both the squads. Both of them are looking interesting. I think the major change, of course, on India's side is of course not having Iyer. In terms of the bowling lineup for India, Rakesh, do you think we're still strong there? Because Prasid, of course, cast his spell in his debut match, and what a debut it was. Of course, even for Krunal as well. But coming to the bowling lineup, any surprises, or do you think spot on with the playing 11?
No, I'm very happy with the way Indian team is dealing with Kuldeep Yadav because he is low with confidence. That was clearly visible in the first ODI because if you look at from last 2 years, I think he has only played one or two Test matches and then just one ODI. If we compare his form with the batsman KL Rahul, India backed KL Rahul in such a way that until they wanted to back him until he gets back into the form. Because if you look at Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav, they both were doing exceptionally well for India. For some reason, Chahal has to sit out looking at because of the team combination, playing at a different places like Australia, India, and in New Zealand, everywhere. I think
Yeah.
India has done a very good thing backing Kuldeep Yadav in this particular ODI because everybody was saying Kuldeep Yadav has to be uh, benched and they have to bring
Yeah.
Chahal back in. But the way India is dealing Kuldeep Yadav, especially at this particular moment, because of the context or because of with the confidence he is in the low with his confidence, they have really done a good job to back him up. I think even Prasidh Krishna will do better with the experience he had in the first ODI, especially the way he has bowled in the second spell. So I'm very happy, or I would say I'm very happy with the way India is dealing with these bowlers. And Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, obviously the senior pro, will be always there to help the young bowlers like Prasidh Krishna, Kuldeep, or Shardul as well.
When it looks like a good mix of experienced players and of course the young blood that's coming in currently, which like we discussed in the beginning, that's amazing to see how the Indian team has so many options, which means that going up to the T20 World Cup or whatever format of the World Cup, they're of course going to be in great form. A lot of them are giving you shout outs, Rakesh, so I'm just going to read out a few names. Sarvesh says hello.
Yep, yep.
And Rajdeep says the wait for Virat's 71st century is as long as Sachin's 100th century. Do you have anything to say to that?
Yeah, like we are discussing, right? It's been 1.5 years since Virat Kohli has scored his century. In the last game, he was looking like as if he's going to score a century, and he got out to his one of his favorite shots, which he plays and flicks it towards deep mid wicket. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
the fielder was deep, and I think it was one of the biggest sides of the ground. That's how that it's a disappointing way the way Virat Kohli got out. Maybe because out of 10 times Virat Kohli won't miss it 9 times. So that was the 10th time he missed it, and we couldn't witness Virat Kohli's century. I think it would have been 44th century in ODI cricket, but definitely he has chances of scoring century either in second or third ODI because of the records he has in this particular ground. Not just in this ground, when it comes to ODI format, he is the king of ODI format.
Right. So I hope you got your answer right there. Rakesh does definitely feel like Virat's going to be scoring that. So for the ones who, of course, tuned in right now, England has, of course, won the toss and opted to field first. And before I let you go, Rakesh, give us your predictions. Who do you think is going to score a 50? And in terms of the most number of wickets, who's going to get the most number of wickets?
I'm pretty sure in terms of if you talk about Indian bowlers, I'm pretty sure the silent hero, like what we discussed in the last post-match session, Shardul will definitely be one of the bowlers to see in this game. He will definitely pick 2 or 3 wickets. And as I mentioned, I'm expecting Shikhar to score again a big innings, score big runs in today's game. In terms of England's batting, Josh Butler will take that extra responsibility to get out from that first game smooth. So Josh Butler from England, and in bowlers, I think England is a little bit hard to predict because all those Stan Curran, Tom Curran, and top play, all these three are new guys. So let's see who is going to be England's best bowler in today's game. But in terms of India, Shreyas Iyer, Shikhar Dhawan, and Josh Butler. These are my picks for today's game.
Right. So those are the predictions Rakesh has made. So better tune in after the post match because Rakesh's predictions last time around were bang on. So let's wait and watch if this time around those predictions are going to be true. Stay tuned to CricTracker for the latest news in the world of cricket and hope you all enjoy the match. Rakesh, once again, thank you so much for taking the time out and coming and joining us on CricTracker.